What's up, everyone? Toy Bro here, and we are going through the Marvel Legends Thor Ragnarok wave. And we have got the man himself here. We have got movie Thor. So we've got our figure here with our standard package, a shot of Chris Hemsworth on the side, Thor on the back, and the Build-A-Figure in our lineup on the bottom, and then that same shot on the other side. Let's pull them out and take a closer look. All right, guys, here is our Thor out of the box. And if you've seen some of my other Legends reviews, you know that I say quite often that I don't buy movie figures. I stick primarily to the comic stuff. I just don't really care for the movie figures. I never really got on board with them. I'm almost regretting it now because they are at a level that I never thought we would see Hasbro figures. And I think this Thor wave is probably the pinnacle of what they've done up until now. And then, of course, the accompanying Netflix wave. So since they go hand in hand and they're out at the same time. So we've got our Thor figure here, and I am really pumped for this movie. I am excited to see a Thor movie, which hasn't happened before. First one was okay. Second one is forgettable. And this one looks like it is going to be a hell of a lot of fun. We've got, Thor Ragnarok plus Planet Hulk, basically. Jeff Goldblum's in it. You've got me. That's got me right there. So I love the design of this figure. I like the idea of this character. I like everything about him in terms of how he looks. And of course, I needed the Gladiator Hulk that they're including as the Build-A-Figure. So got to get them all. And it turns out that I really like this wave. There are a few nitpicky things I've got to say about this figure, but for the most part, I think he's pretty damn good. So let's take a quick look at him, and we'll start with his swords just so I can get him out of his hands. So he does come with two accessories. If you want to count, there are two, but it's the same thing. So we've got his new weapons in the movie. I don't know if they have a name or if anything. I think they're given to him probably when he goes to the arena, most likely. But they are in this kind of blue metallic plastic with a dirty brown, kind of bronzy hilt. A lot of kind of sharp edges in there. Very spacey looking. These don't look like, Norse weapons. These look like something that he's getting on another planet. So he's got two of these. He can hold them in either hand, obviously, because they are the same. So I'm going to pull these out just for the time being, just to make it easier to mess around with him. He does offer a removable cape as well. And this is probably one of the nitpicky things I was going to talk about. I might as well go ahead and do it now. So the cape itself is cool. I like the tattered design of it. I like how it hangs. I like the idea of it connecting in two places. But so far, I've had a lot of issues with it just sort of wanting to pop out. So it fits in through the strap on his chest, and then there's a peg through that strap into the chest, and then it pegs on his waist as well. But it's not very tight, so it'll just keep popping out. So I'm not going to remove it ever, so I may put a little glue in there just to keep it down. But that is something. See, it already popped out just because I'm just sort of touching it just slightly too much. So it's an annoyance. It's not really a huge problem, but it is an annoyance. So you probably want to get him posed and then put it on. So I'm going to take it off while we talk about this too. So as far as the rest of the figure is concerned, we'll do articulation and sculpt and paint and all that good stuff. So head is on a disc hinge with a ball. So we go down and up, all around. Pretty wide range of motion. Arms can go out. Bicep swivel all the way around. We have got double jointed elbows, which go up more than 90. There is a hinge. That's really tight. Hinge and a rotation at the wrist. And this hinge on this hand is a vertical hinge. What we got on this guy? They're both vertical hinges. There you go. So two vertical hinges, which makes sense since he has two swords to wield, which is better for that kind of accessory. He does have a crunch. He doesn't go over too far, but he goes back quite a bit. And then he does have a waist twist. Legs can go out. I feel like they could probably go further than this, but I don't know, it's not a loincloth or anything, but his just general garb gets in the way. Forward, just about 90 degrees. Again, same problem with the leather coming down. And then a back kick pretty decently. There is, of course, a thigh cut. He does have the double jointed knees. There is nothing at the boot level in terms of a cut there. He has a hinge and then a really nice rocker at the ankle. So he's got pretty much all the articulation you might want out of this figure, and I think it works well for him. I don't have any issues in terms of joints or stickiness or any kind of weird oddities like that. So overall, he's pretty cool. Now, as far as sculpt goes, like I said, I love the look of this new Thor. I think, the kind of space Viking that we've got going on now looks really neat, very cool. There's a lot of sculpted detail all over this guy, a lot of sculpted line work, wrinkles, just sculpted detail in the clothing that he's wearing to kind of bring everything out. Looks really good. We've got sculpted belts, we've got sculpted bracers, we've got the sculpted shoulder pad. It is attached at the arm and it kind of floats there so you can move it around. It's attached to what would be this strap right here. We've got the free floating strap that sits around his chest. Again, as I mentioned, he does have the hole in there, which passes through to this hole so you can peg the cloak in. And then we have the helmet, which is non-removable. It doesn't come off. It's kind of a soft, pliable plastic. And if you can tell, one side here is kind of warped from how it was sitting in the package. So I figured I'd leave it that way just to show you for now that it's probably going to look like that for a lot of folks. It's not a huge deal, and I can reshape it, so it's kind of what happens with a lot of these. But I do like this new helmet design. I think it's really cool. I'm just glad he has a helmet finally. That's been missing for quite a while, I believe. And then he's got the one shin pad down here, which actually pops off. It's just kind of clipped on there, just kind of with tension, basically. But it's not, unless you pull on it, it's not going to come off. Now, as far as the face goes, that's clearly where a lot of the sculpted detail brings out Chris Hemsworth. I think this is a pretty good rendition of him. It's not perfect, and I mean, is it ever going to be? Probably not. But I think it looks really good. It's a nice kind of neutral look for him. I would have preferred him maybe being a little bit more expressive, but at the same time, that's two sides of the same coin. So it's either you get a neutral face or an expressive face. Which do you want? Just kind of depends on your point of view on that one. But I think overall, this looks really good. It looks as close to him as it probably can be for a Marvel Legends at this point in the game. Next up, we have paint, and there is a decent bit on here too. We've got paint all over that helmet. We've obviously got the kind of photoreal tech going with his face sculpt and face paint. He's got the kind of, I guess it's war paint on his face down onto his neck there, the red, if you can see that there. And then we've got the paint all over his, I guess it's kind of a leathery armor. We've got the red going down all the way down his legs. It's on that shin pad as well, and it's on the shoulder pad. So I think overall the look of this character lends itself really well to just what they did in terms of the sculpt and the paint. There's a lot of little details that are brought out by the sculpt. There's a lot of little details brought out by where the paint is applied. And overall, it's pretty decent. I'm overall very happy with him. I don't really have any faults in this figure except for my little nitpickiness with this cape. And like I said, that's easily fixed. All right, and for the sake of comparison, here is Thor next to the Return of Marvel Legends Thor. So this is the only Thor that I have had for years. I've never bought another Thor. This is my end-all be-all Thor figure. It's not even that great of a figure in terms of articulation. I have a really hard time keeping him standing sometimes because he doesn't have an ankle rocker. But this is my Thor in terms of look, and he's humongous too. Look at him, he's massive. But I think it's a cool just comparison between where it was in the comics, because this is a long old look at this point. He's changed quite a bit recently, to where we are now in the movies. Also, you can see just a comparison of how he stacks up to another larger figure. So just something to throw out there, get an idea of what he looks like next to some different figures from back in the line. So overall, like I said, I am relatively happy with this figure. I don't really have too many issues with him. He's got the bendy piece on the helmet, which I can fix, and he's got the cape that doesn't want to sit correctly, which I can also fix. The fact that I want to buy movie figures says a lot, I think, in terms of, how good I think this wave is. I don't buy movie figures, but I have bought 3 now, specifically because I like the figures, not just because I want the Build-A-Figure. I do want the Build-A-Figure, don't get me wrong, but I like this Thor. So that should kind of lend itself just to how much I'm interested in these figures. And, if I want them for that specific reason alone, if you already buy movie figures, you're probably going to enjoy this. And he is just a damn good figure. So that's pretty much all there is to say. Good figure. He looks cool. Got some good articulation. And he's in a pretty strong lineup for this wave. So go out and get him. That is going to do it for this review, everyone. As always, stay tuned for more. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And until next time.